Hey folks, it's Brian. Welcome to Politics 360, and today we have some interesting stories, a total of 4 of them that will really help to get you a little bit more aware of some of the latest things in the news cycles, and maybe equally as important, make you just a little bit more aware of what direction this country is heading in. All that I ask you to do is hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll be right back with more information. The first story talks about voters being really undecided about the first 28 to 30 days of the Trump administration. What are they really talking about? Well, they're talking about this expectation of what the country was going to look like as soon as Donald Trump took office. But now that some of these things are actually being put into motion, they are getting a little bit cold feet. Some people super excited about the progress the president's making, but there's another set of people who get a little bit worried about some of the changes that are taking place. For instance, some of the amount of government layoffs that are taking place, with the expectation of maybe up to about 200,000 layoffs that are very real and affecting people who are inside the federal government. And of course, the next question becomes, are these all really good layoffs? Are any of these people good workers? And if there's some people that are getting laid off that actually have a real positive impact on the government, then maybe we should rethink what we're doing. Is cutting all these jobs the right answer, or is it the expedient answer? And with that, I don't have any answers. But if you have a thought about this, please share below in your comments. I love to respond to those, and I love an engaged audience as well. The next item of business, we're taking a look at January 6th rioters who were pardoned. Yes, remember, it was one of the first things that the President of the United States did once he got into office. He went ahead and issued pardons for so many of the January 6th rioters. And whether you have feelings they should have or should not have been pardoned, well, there's a whole other issue out there that's kind of looming in more detail. As fate would have it, some of the other rioters had additional charges pending against them that had nothing, and I do mean nothing, to do with the January 6th riots. And as a result, the presidential pardon for these behaviors that took place on January 6th now have another question. Did those pardons actually cover other types of misbehavior and criminal behaviors outside of that? Or did the President of the United States only pardon the behaviors from January 6th? And once again, it's a very touchy issue, but it's worth exploring in more detail and trying to get down to the bottom of things just a little bit more. Let's face it, there's a deeper amount of understanding, and anytime you're rushing to the top of the Capitol steps, whatever reason it is, that's a question mark. But it goes a little bit deeper than that, of course, and of course, being the people who broke down the doors and harassed police officers there that day is one thing. But if somebody had other issues they'd done inside their own personal lives and then they showed up January 6th, maybe those pardons shouldn't apply. But I'd be curious to hear what you think. In other news, Trump is actually got a direct appeal to the United States Supreme Court. Yes, the same U.S. Supreme Court where he has nominated 3 of those justices. And remember, with any federal judge, you have your job for life until the day you die. So let's face it, you should not feel any kind of added pressure when you're making a decision, or I owe you one, is another idea that some people think might exist. But I'm here to say a federal judge really takes a look at the law and makes these decisions. So as the story turns out, President Trump has an appeal because he wants to fire the person who oversees government ethics. He believes, though, this watchdog agency is really kind of overstepping its boundaries and really shouldn't be in a position to pull in the reins on any ethical behavior going on in government right now. And so Trump says, hey, if the guy's a problem, get rid of them. However, Now there's being some questions asked whether or not the president's executive powers are really overstepping their boundaries. And established way, way back a long time ago in the Marbury versus Madison case, which established the U.S. Supreme Court's supremacy, only certain courts can actually hear a case that deals with the President of the United States and executive powers. And of course, this is it. So stay tuned, because this is going to be a very, very interesting story. And the fact is, a writ of mandamus means that the court makes an immediate decision on this case. So stay tuned to our news cycle, because I think you'll find the answers very, very interesting. I'm very intrigued by this as well. Finally, a piece of news that people really, really seem to have their eye on is gold prices. Yes, gold prices are up to like $2,900 an ounce. That's US dollars for 1 ounce of gold. And let's face it, gold has come a long, long way. If you look at the chart that we're going to provide here, you'll take a look at there and say, wow, gold has gone up quite a bit over the past 5 years or so. But the irony is, gold still may go higher. Some people are calling it to go to $3,000 an ounce, which is absurd and unheard of. But there's more. Whether it's Hamas, whether it's Israel, whether it's Russia and Ukraine, whether it's China, whether it's Taiwan, and of course, out there is uncertainty. And so, what has gold traditionally been? It's been a safe haven for people to put money and hold, in the idea that gold will go up in prices during times of uncertainty. And let's face it, we do have questions to consider right now, and think about this in a little bit more detail. What about, the future of the US dollar? Is cryptocurrency maybe a different safe asset that's out there now? I don't have answers for you, but I will tell you that everybody should hold a little bit of gold. Now, are high gold prices a sign of goodness or bad times? Or maybe more importantly, do you own gold, or would you consider owning gold? And if you hold gold, really explain to me how you're moving it. How are you retaining the gold? And how are you, at some point in time, knowing when to sell it? Or is it something you're going to hold on to forever? It's a good question to ask, and just take those thoughts into consideration. Hi, I'm Brian. Thank you for tuning in to Politics 360. I enjoy you being here and some of the amazing things that you're saying and some of the amazing things you're doing out there. Please, once again, like, subscribe, and tune in here, because I love having you and your comments. I'll try to respond to as many of them as possible. Have a great day, and go ahead and check out the next video we have ready just for you right now. Thank you.